On this edition of Chatting with the Champs, alongside of me are key components to this year's 2023 ACHA National Championship team, Coach Wyatt Wasylenchuk and Captain Davis Sheldon. Now, you guys have had a couple days to let this set in and let it sink in. Just walk us through your emotions right now.
Well, it's been pretty darn cool, obviously, with the community support, starting with the escalator ride down at the airport and seeing all those smiling faces, and then I'm sure the boys have had a little more fun with it than I have, but it's been pretty darn cool. All the texts and the handshakes and just people coming up to you in the whether you're in the mall or at the gym or something like that. It's been pretty darn special, and I couldn't be more proud of the guys and to witness them experiencing it.
Yeah, I guess on a player perspective, like Waz touched on, it's really cool to see all the support from everybody when you come back into the city of Minot. But I don't know if it's really sunk in quite yet. A couple days in here, and it's just really, really fun, and I'm really proud to be able to see the boys and how excited they are to take this win.
And we go back to the tournament here, and obviously that first game you guys took care with pretty much with ease, but you get into that quarterfinal, semifinal game, both close games, both went into OT. Was there ever, I'm not going to say doubt, but was there ever any bit of nerves that kind of set in?
Yeah, I'd probably say maybe me more than the guys. I thought that we stayed pretty darn even keel throughout the week, and I've said it a ton of times already. It's our leadership. It's guys like Davis that kept our bench so focused, and then you have a captain like Drew Carter who just keeps it so light and is having fun with it. And I think that was just such a good dynamic for our team.
We knew what we had to do. We had come back this year in multiple games. So like Waz said, we had guys like Drew Carter, Connor Navarrete, Carter Barley, and then everybody else that's not wearing a letter. We just have a whole locker room full of leaders.
Now, Davis, we'll hone in on you for a second here. Your final season wearing a Beaver sweater. What's it like to be able to go out on such a high note like this?
It's pretty special. I got pretty emotional after the game there, just knowing that it would be my last game in a Beaver uniform. It's been 5 years here. I've created so many friendships and basically family throughout my 5 years, both on the ice and off the ice throughout the community of Minot. And so just to look around and be able to see all these guys that I know put in so much work this year, guys that have put in work over the past 3, 4, 5 years, and get to see them filled with joy and excitement and be able to lift that trophy. It couldn't have been a better way for me to go out, that's for sure.
And on that same token, not only walking away with the Minot Cup, but you also walk away with MVP. So just on top of that, how does that add on to the emotions of your last season?
Yeah, it was a very nice kind of shock, surprise, if you will. I definitely can't take all the credit for it. I definitely wouldn't have been in that position if it wasn't for my coaches, my parents, my whole team, my line mates that grinded with me all year. We had a lot of injuries throughout our line this year, but we just kept going, and I wouldn't have been in the position I was if it wasn't for everybody that supported me along the way.
This year we saw almost video game numbers from you guys. First thing that comes to mind is Liberty putting almost 70 shots on goal. What's it like as a coach and as a player to be able to send out a line and have 100% confidence that any line can score?
I've said that time and time again this year. It's I don't care what our line chart goes out on Twitter. Before a game, we don't have a fourth line, we don't have a third line, we have 4 first lines, and I mean that. There's not a team in the country that wouldn't take any of our lines as their top line.
I don't think there was ever any doubt, no matter who was on the ice, forward or D, and then for surely in our crease, there's no doubt on whatever goalie we had to put in there. So it's something special to know that you got 25 guys that are willing to do whatever it takes, and this was the outcome.
Definitely. Well, thank you both so much. Once again, Captain Davis Sheldon and Head Coach Wyatt Wasylenchuk.